Uh, my name's Kunaal, and today we're going to talk to you about why Miles Sanders is the Mia Khalifa of Dynasty Fantasy Football. Owen, you want to take it away?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. When we're looking at Miles Sanders, there's a couple things. So right now, mainly we're talking about who are our go-to running backs we're trying to acquire in the offseason. This is strictly super flex, no leverage tight ends, regular tight ends. And the
Half
first
PPR.
person, half PPR, of course. The first one we're definitely interested in is Miles Sanders. Just to give a quick breakdown, last year he finished roughly 20th in overall points per game, half PPR. The year before, 14th. That comes off with a couple injuries.
Yep.
Yeah.
He wasn't as efficient as possible. And the passing game wasn't there. This year, they only completed 50% of passes that were thrown his way. Year well opposed to last year was around 70, so there's going to be increased pass volume even with Hurts at quarterback.
Yeah. 50% catch rate is just ham for running back.
Like some Odell Beckham type ish.
And we also got to remember the significant offensive line injuries that the Eagles had throughout the season, and I mean, obviously that's going to negatively impact Miles Sanders' efficiency down the stretch.
Mm.
So
the thing that interests me is if you look at a Cam Akers type player, a guy that's coming into this offseason with full hype, end of the year very strong, had a good run in the playoffs. This is what Miles Sanders was last year.
Exactly.
And yet, the hype has kind of died down. He's kind of seen as a mid RB2, maybe a flex. We're still putting him in the high RB2, maybe low RB1, especially in this offense, which is going to see coming from a Colts play caller / QB coach. They like to pass to the backfield.
Yeah, look at Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines.
Mm-hmm.
They had a big role. Even I forget the last one. I think it is Wilkins.
Yeah, Jordan Wilkins.
Trash.
He even had a good. I mean, even his terrible. I mean, play style was able to produce under their system.
Right. And you would assume that they're going to get some more offensive weapons in the draft because they have beyond Jalen Reagor in the receiving game, Dallas Goedert as well. They have nothing. Arcega-Whiteside, trash. And you'd think maybe Jamar Chase goes at 106 in the 2021 draft to the Eagles, maybe Kyle Pitts. And that's going to help stretch the offense and open some running lanes up for Miles Sanders as well.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that I'm kind of looking at when looking at this season, I mean, would you take him over Joe Mixon right now? I mean, Joe Mixon obviously seen as more of a lower end RB1, higher end RB2. I would put them in similar categories in overall ability and upside, especially given the fact that Joe Burrow, we don't know the certainty around him. Their O-line's more shaky than Philly when Philly's is healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I although Hurts is coming, I still think there's more upside to Sanders in the passing game than there is to a Mixon.
Yeah. No, for sure. And then you also have to consider the Bengals still have Giovanni Bernard under contract for this upcoming season. So Mixon's receiving game is not going to be as uncapped as Miles Sanders could be. So I think the potential upside for Miles Sanders, especially in half PPR and full PPR leagues, is way higher than that of Joe Mixon's. Although Joe Mixon is probably the better strictly runner, we know the passing volume is what makes a good running back in fantasy into an elite running back.
The one thing that does scare me a little bit is their depth chart at running back is a little scarce. With the open market, there are a lot of great players. A Wayne Gallman, who's shown great productivity throughout his career. Even
and
Carlos
keep in mind,
Hyde.
like, oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, just there's people like Carlos Hyde, Chris Carson. I mean, they probably won't go for an Aaron Jones, but there's a lot of good options that won't be too much that they can find to kind of fit that second tier role, kind of like the Jordan Howard played a couple years ago in that offense.
Right.
I was gonna say, Sanders. He's still on his rookie contract for 2 more years, 2021, 2022. But Mixon, on the other hand, like the team's already shown that they actually want him for the future, and they gave him a contract, even if they have a out clause at 2022, still signed through 2024. Like that's, especially with Boro, like that's good.
Right. So you have like that, I guess, guaranteed role almost down the stretch. But at the
Yeah, or he's more guaranteed than Miles Sanders
Yeah.
staying on his team. Yeah.
If you look at Miles Sanders too, he's got a thick ass neck. Just remember that. I mean, you say he can't get goal line carries, bro. He's coming at you with that neck. There's no way he's getting stopped at the goal line.
Oh yeah, I mean, I trust him on the goal line.
I mean, there's one thing about Miles Sanders' running style is that he's not like on an average play, he's gonna get you maybe 2 to 3 yards. It's just his breakout play potential. Like we saw so many times where he just breaks out a 50-yard touchdown, just takes it to the house.
Yeah,
this
but
season.
those are the ones that win you games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're chasing. That's the Mia Khalifa aspect of Miles Sanders, baby.
See, what we like to do at this show is we like to be like Colin Cowherd.
What's
We
that?
like to take two things that have absolutely nothing at all to do with each other
Big brain.
and relate them so it's, I guess, more obvious in the viewer's eyes.
Facts.
Still makes no sense.
No, it does. If you just tell yourself it does, it does.
All right. So the next player we wanted to talk about that we could be a Mia Khalifa-esque kind of player is Ezekiel Elliott. And
Always
as we
better.
know, Ezekiel Elliott was drafted by most people in start-off drafts easily in the first round going into this year, as he had one of the best offenses surrounding him in terms of offensive line, quarterback play, wide receiver weapons. Dallas was set up for everything. And then Dak got injured. Offensive line got torn to shreds. Ben DiNucci happened. It was a shit show in Dallas.
And Zeke's getting very old and crippled.
Zeke is 25.
Fat.
He is fat, but his fat is his upside. He was never thin.
It's only like an Eddie Lacy year 3 type fat. We're not in year 4 yet.
The thing is, after all this and after this entire connotation that he had a bad season, he finishes the RB9 in 2020. So that kind of, and he missed games. He missed plenty of games. How many games did he miss? I believe it was at least 2, not 3. He missed 1 game. Okay, Cat, 1 game. But still finishes the RB9 in PPR leagues. So even though the connotation was that he had a bad season, he finishes the RB9 without his quarterback, without what's his name in the offensive line?
Zach.
Yeah.
It was Zach Martin.
Yeah, Zach Martin. And
I think they had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and they're gonna get some offensive line back. They're obviously gonna sign Dak, if not trade for a certain someone up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, get him out of here.
And the offense will be back. And as a short term, if you're looking to contend, Ezekiel Elliott is cheap. I believe he's going in the 2nd round, maybe 3rd round in startup drafts, and you can get him in really cheap right now, I think.
So here's the thing that, I mean, so just to put it more straightforward, me and Akira, the guy's got this full name on the screen, we actually both hate Zeke, but he does make some good points. You would be buying low on Zeke if you consider he has the ability to return to his upside, which is RB2, RB3, or top 5. With given upside, especially now that they're going to have to make moves, potentially trade Dak, potentially keep him, maybe trade a receiver. He's going to have a little more volume we'll see in the passing game. And with what's given, they're going to have a bad schedule. The Cowboys finished, 2nd worst in their division. They're going to be playing weaker teams. It's a great opportunity for Zeke not only to return to where he was, but kind of gain back the respect. He's going to be locked in the offseason. That's huge. Honestly, they could cut him after this year, which is more of like an incentive. It's not really a contract year, but he has more incentive to play well this year, especially.
Yeah.
And people bring up the Tony Pollard argument and how when Tony Pollard's on the field, he looks more electric. Um, and that's all fine and dandy, but he's not taking the 20 million job away from Zeke um, this season at least, and most likely never. So that's just my 2 cents on the Pollard argument.
I mean, we should not get into Pollard right now.
Pollard, maybe if he goes to a different team, like that could be nice.
Right. I mean, he's from the lineage of Memphis running backs like Antonio Gibson and Darrell Henderson, and they've just been obviously lighting up this league. And we'll see if what's his face Gainwell can also replicate that level of success in this upcoming season as a rookie.
I'm not big on Gainwell.
We'll see.
I mean, obviously, we haven't seen team, we haven't seen situation, but there's a couple people I like after him that we won't get into currently. You guys stay tuned. Subscribe, like, and comment.
Smash the like button.
Actually, don't dislike it. Dislike it. We want no comments. We want everybody to hate our content.
Facts.
But the thing about Pollard, if you're a true dynasty player and you're looking 1 year out, 2 year out, 3 year out, I mean, there's a high probability, especially after this year, if Zeke can't perform at the top 3 level he has, he would be a good asset to hold after this season. Because you could probably get him for a 3rd or 4th right now.
I mean, even if Zeke just goes down from injury, Tony Pollard could be a top 10 back.
I'd say pretty easily.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
We can see. We'll see.
Another running back I want to bring up. Damian Harris.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not in the hype, to be honest, because I think they might bring back Cam. But if they don't bring back Cam, this guy might be nice. All the goal line carries.
Yeah, I spent quite a bit of time looking into Mr. Damian Harris, and
but he doesn't get targets though.
Right, and I think part of the problem, as we know, Patriots, they love their scat backs. They have Rex Burkhead, James White, and obviously in the past, Dion Lewis.
Honestly, Cam Newton didn't help. I mean, assuming he doesn't come back, but you're going to see pass volume increase.
Right, and with James White, unrestricted free agent, Rex Burkhead, unrestricted free agent. So they're pass catching backs out of the
Michel, trash.
Sony Michel, trash, obviously. Yeah. So they're pass catching backs.
Just like his Georgia buds.
Hey, Sony, if you're watching this, we love you. You're great. Okay. We love you.
We ain't sleeping on DeAndre Swift, Akira. But no, I think I think if you were to buy Damian Harris, you're buying him at his floor. You saw just the worst offense in football possibly with Cam Newton under the helm. And Damian Harris still produced at like an RB2 flex-ish level. And I think his volume is going to go up. He was injured the entire season, and once he comes back and has a full 16-game slate, you would expect him to only perform better. And with the pass hatching backs gone, it should help restore value.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I know this is going to sound crazy. People actually don't talk about this concept very much, but usually you can tell how good a player is based on what their fan base thinks of them. It's like Seahawks fans, if you really look into it, they're kind of split on Russell Wilson. If you look at baseball teams, you know this team's got a great bullpen. This team doesn't. When you talk to Patriots fans, they're all in on Damian Harris. Yeah. And I know Bill Belichick, one of the smartest guys, he has to like what he sees there too.
Right.
I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but the person that's watching every game, watching preseason, following every single news, knows more than I'd say most analysts about certain teams, and especially with the Patriots. Damian Harris, I mean, he's going to get the bulk of the carries this year. Right. And their O-line, their O-line's not going to get worse. It's probably going to improve if anything. They're going to have people sign back in.
One thing that does scare me about him is that he is kind of old. He's already almost 25.
Mm.
And he's going to go into his 3rd year. So...
Right, he's
if he finishes his rookie, Yeah, if he finishes his rookie contract, he'll be 20, almost 27. So
Yeah.
But you can get him for super cheap. So
Right. And I think
can't be that bad.
I think he went in rounds like 7 through 9 in startup drafts. I can check that right now. But yeah, he's really cheap. You can probably get him for like a second rounder, and he's a
Would you
starting running
rather
back.
take him or Kenyon?
Give me Damian Harris all day.
Give me Damian Harris. I think.
What about Melvin Gordon?
Give me Damian Harris.
Damian Harris.
Damn.
I mean, the
Chris
thing about
Carson?
Oof.
I'm just going up the list.
See, the thing is, it's for Kenyon Drake and Chris Carson. It depends on their landing spots, of course.
I think Kenyon's not going to be the lead runner. I don't think at any program. Carson could, but he's going to.
I think Kenyon Drake might get re-signed by the Cardinals.
Yeah,
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could just get tagged again, maybe.
I mean, one person that's super interesting to me, especially this year, I mean, would be like a Chris Carson type. I mean, someone who's always been really productive in a terrible offensive line in Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, say he goes to New England, the Green Bay, they replace Aaron Jones because he's going to be half the price, and maybe they see him as more productive. I mean, if you put him behind it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you put him behind a good old line, you're going to see production like a top end running back. No, my bad.
No, I keep trying to interject, but one team that I've seen Chris Carson linked with quite a few times by us fantasy hopefuls is Buffalo Bills.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, give Josh Allen a competent running game behind him, and that team
fuck you, Zach Moss. Fuck you, Devin Singletary. Let's roll.
We all know those two. Those two are the epitome of bums. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe one more year they might be better, but so far,
I'd bet against
garbage.
One thing's for sure, they're not the Mia Khalifas of running backs in 2021.
They don't add the aspect you didn't know you were looking for until you found. That's all I gotta say.
Dang, big brain. I was hearing this discussion earlier, actually, between Nick Chubb or Derrick Henry. Who would you rather have?
Oh, that's so easy to me. I'll let Akira go, but that's a no-brainer for me.
Right now, I think it's Derrick Henry.
Really?
I mean, dude, like next season, he's probably going to win leagues easily again.
Mm-hmm.
Can Chubb do that in his next 4 years that he could play for?
So this is what people forget about. Remember, so let's go back to 2019 real quick. Nick Chubb going into Week 17 had Derrick Henry in yards. So they're both their passing presence in the pass game is both minimal. Going into Week 17,
yeah.
They both played a full season. Nick Chubb was actually leading rushing until their coach decided, no, let's not run him like more than 10 times, while Derrick Henry racked up like 150 yards.
I mean, he got 13 touches in that Week 17.
How many yards?
41. He just had a bad week.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. He didn't play his best that week. I'll give you that.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're pretty comparable. Like, I know this can sound crazy. I think they're similar players like year to year. I will just take Nick Chubb because of the age and the potential further upside, given that the Browns have the best O-line.
They're similar type players, though. They're just straight runners.
Right. Yeah. I mean, their ability to break away and make a big plays. I mean, they're top 2.
Oh God.
Oh, Dalvin.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I mean, an interesting thing to mention while we're ever talking about Nick Chubb is he's actually Kareem Hunt is under contract for 2 more years over Nick Chubb. So actually, Kareem Hunt is the safer, more guaranteed player long term as of right now. Of course, I think the Browns are going to figure things out and give Nick Chubb a contract. But as of right now, Kareem Hunt
they'll
has
probably
a job.
trade Hunt later.
The thing I don't get is, like, I know this does not have to do with fantasy, but why would a team pay Nick Chubb $16 million a year when they can go get
a running back in the 5th round?
That's, I mean, I wasn't even talking 5th round, but yeah, like
And you
a
pay
running
him
back.
$300,000 for 4 years.
That's
Give him
90%.
CTE.
Yeah, just run him into the ground.
Yeah.
I just want to end this by saying, if you guys want a sleeper RB1 for this year, Wayne Gallman. No, I'm playing. I do like him though. If he goes in the right system, the way he produced with the Giants, average more yards per carry than Saquon. If you like a sleeper there, go try to send a 4th rounder for him. Maybe you can get a little something.
Alrighty, I think that's all we got time for on this episode. Catch us in a couple days. We'll post another one for y'all. Take care. Take it easy.
Adios.
Deuces. Subscribe, like, comment.